been a while since I've made a video, but I am just doing a little update. I have done quite a few things in the past, I guess it's a few months now. I'm gonna share just like some little video clips as I talk, and then we can get into some project updates, which I don't have too many, so it'll be probably a shorter video. In March, at the end of March, my friend and I went on a camping trip. It's like I did the same trip last year with a group of girls and did like one of my first videos was knitting at there's like a small body of water there, and it was a beautiful, beautiful weekend. It was a little bit rainy, so we did spend one of the evenings in the tent, and it was just like pretty gentle rain, and she was reading and I was knitting, and it was just like the most serene moment. Like the birds were singing, and I'll share a video here. And then after that, I had 2 weekends ago was my bachelorette party, and we went to the Adirondacks, which I live in New York, and sometimes I forget how close the Adirondacks are. I mean, it's about a 6-hour drive, but it feels really interesting to go from somewhere here, like you can hear the cars right outside of my house and the busy traffic closer to the city, and then just driving a few hours and being in the mountains. It was a beautiful weekend. Kim and I drove together, and we went a little bit out of the way. It wasn't too crazy out of the way, but we went further east and then north. We went to, it's in Guilderland, near Schenectady and Albany. There was a little yarn store that Kim had been to before and wanted to make a stop. It's called Cece's Wool, and it was so nice. I have some plans of trying to open a yarn shop in Buffalo that sells more small business, like yarns from small businesses, and things that you can't really find around here. And this was just like a really cool experience, or I guess it's a really great idea for me to go to other yarn stores and just see how they're set up, what it looks like, and get some inspiration for that. But we had a really nice time there. Kim found a really beautiful like heather, or I guess it's like a lighter gray with some little like black fibers within it. It's really, really beautiful. I think it's the Fiber Co. in the UK. And it's their lore yarn. I'm sure we'll do a video soon and she'll talk about it. But I got a few cones of Harrisville Designs, which I've never worked from a cone before, so I'm really curious to see what that's gonna be like. And I will grab those. So I got 2 different cones. This one was just more of a DK. The color is sand. It's it's kind of like a grayish, but a little bit warmer. It's got some peach tones to it. It's really, really pretty. I have plans to make an Esther sweater from Petite Knit. I'm not quite brave enough to do cables yet, but I want to do another textured sweater, like more of a basic for my wardrobe. And I thought this color would be really nice. with that one. It's got some like diamond diamond patterns in the seed stitch, which I've also never done. So I made a swatch using the seed stitch so that I can kind of get an idea of what that looks like and how it will knit up with this yarn. And I love it. I think it's so pretty. I do have a fear though that when I wear this sweater, it's like kind of close to my skin tone, especially in the winter. I have to be careful not to look like I'm naked, but I think it'll be fine. So I got that. These cones are approximately 450 yards, which it's so amazing how deceiving, like this, it's about the size of a skein, but it like in appearance, but it's quite a lot of yarn on one cone. So I'm looking forward to knitting that up. And then I also got this cone because I could not resist this color. It's so beautiful, but it's a fingering weight, and the color is gold, and this one is 900 yards, which is unbelievable to me. But I would like to, I don't think I want to make a whole project in something like this. At least fingering weight yarns, I'm gonna hold off on making whole sweaters in fingering weight yarns. But I've been watching a lot of Hanan Bonet's videos on YouTube, and she's been making some really, really beautiful colorwork socks. And I was just thinking that like this kind of yarn would be really nice in some sort of colorwork. Maybe not necessarily socks, but I would like to knit socks someday. I have some yarn to do that, but I have a lot of yarn for a lot of projects that I would like to do someday. I thought maybe for some sort of like colorwork project, holding this double could be like possible for a DK project, or I'm not entirely sure, but I could not resist. And this, like, there's some little bits of orange in there, and it's just such a perfect gold color. And I did knit a swatch of that as well, which is just so pretty. I love it. And I bought one more thing when we were at that shop, and it is that I finally invested in a set of the Chiagu interchangeable needles. And I love it. I love them so much. I'm really glad that I did too, because I didn't bring any of my needles with me on this trip, so I couldn't have made any swatches with the yarns that I got. I did bring one project, but if I wanted to like make any swatches of the new yarns that I got, I wouldn't have been able to do it. So I'm glad that I did that, because now I have all of the lengths of cables that I'll need and the sizes of needles, and that is just, it's a really difficult thing to buy in the moment because it feels like a lot of money, but I think in the long run I will be really happy that I did that, because I continue to buy different lengths of cables and different size needles, and it just becomes a lot. So in the end it ends up kind of evening out what you're spending on needles. I did get the bamboo ones too, because I don't love knitting with metal needles personally, so I chose the bamboo ones. So I'm excited about that. But we had a really wonderful weekend. I was able to knit up some swatches while we were like on the porch of this Airbnb, and it was overlooking the mountains, and we did a hike too. Just a small hike that had a really beautiful view, and we went to this really, really wonderful restaurant that was a like farm to table restaurant with really nice cocktails, and the food was incredible. And it was just a really nice weekend, like a getaway weekend. And then other than that, there's a few projects as far as like project updates. I've had quite a funk in my knitting lately. A few projects I didn't swatch because I got excited and started knitting them and got pretty far and realized that it was too small. They would never fit me. So I've frogged them. But one was I was going to work on the cloud sweater by Petite Knit in fisherman's wool, the brown fisherman's wool. I think I have a video maybe where I talk about it. Or maybe I'll put that clip in the beginning. But it's off gauge, and I just trusted what the label on the yarn said, and that was incredibly wrong. So I think I'm gonna try to swatch that using a different size needle, because the pattern calls for about a 17 stitch gauge, and what I counted with the needle size the pattern recommended was 21. So I'm gonna try adjusting the needle size and seeing if that helps. And that one I ended up frogging about last week. And then a few months ago, I might have shared this, I don't recall, but I'm gonna share it again. I bought this yarn. I think it's Manos del Uruguay, and it is a 2-ply. It's really beautiful colors. There's some like periwinkles in there and some like mushroomy rose colors. And I was working on making a Maggie, I think it's a Maggie cardigan, but doing it kind of like a shorter sleeve with this one, or a vest. No, I'm wrong, I'm sorry. I was working on making the Stockholm slipover, but I was going to modify it to have like a button down, be a button down like a vest instead of the slipover. And I made it a few months ago. I got to where you connect under the arms, and it was working out fine. Like the shape of it was working out, everything except for the fit, because I put it on and I couldn't get it over my arms. So it was far too small. So I am trying again. This is as far as I've gotten so far. It's just like the back, or the like over the shoulder back piece here. It knits up really nicely. Yeah, I like this color a lot. It's really, this is the first time I've used any sort of yarn like this, but I always see them and they call to me, but I don't know, I've never knit with anything like this. So I really enjoy, like, there's certain sections where the purples show up a lot. It's a little shiny, so it's hard to really grasp, but I really like this a lot. So I haven't worked much on that. I think that was the end of March. I started that and then frogged the whole thing and then recast it on in a bigger size. So we'll see if that works. The other projects I am working on, I've been working on them for a while, and I haven't really gotten too far on them as far as progress goes. But the Maggie cardigan in this beautiful orange color, I finished one sleeve. I cut it short. It's about, so on my actual arm, it goes just below my elbow. But I love this sweater and I'm so excited to have it. Someday. So I picked up the stitches for the sleeve a few days ago, and I didn't get a chance to work much on it, but this little 1.5 inches or so from here and there of progress is from this morning. Kim and I had breakfast and knit at a cafe, and it was really wonderful. I love doing that. It's just like such a nice little treat and an opportunity to slow down and to catch up with each other. So that is where I am at with this cardigan. I've mentioned in a few past videos that there wasn't that much of this yarn. I got it at Rhinebeck. And I am a little bit afraid of running out, so I'm knitting the sleeves up first, knitting them to the length that I feel comfortable, and then I will knit the body and the button band just to make sure I have enough yarn to do that. Other than that, I think my goal for today was to get a little bit farther on that sleeve, so I think after this I'm gonna knit a little bit more on that, so we'll see. And then my Northern Augustins I will grab. I'm on a rolling chair, so I'm gonna roll away and then come back. Yeah, I haven't gotten too much farther, but I will share that. This is another one I'm very, very excited to wear. I've done, it's so bunched up at the bottom, it's really hard to see, to like grasp. I've done a bit more on the body, not very much, just a few rows. I'm getting a little farther in the chart, but this is so far. It's using Brooklyn Tweed, so Brooklyn Tweed Shelter, and the colors are like this gray is Wood Smoke, and then the green is Yellowstone. And I'm really, really grateful that I grabbed this yarn when I did, because as many of us know, Brooklyn Tweed is no longer producing yarn, which is very sad, but alas, we move on. I do have some more Brooklyn Tweed Shelter in the Truffle Hunt color that I want to do. Probably, I'm thinking maybe like a Marseille sweater, and then I have some white like Homestead Tweed that I have to swatch to see if they'll be the same gauge, but I think it would be really cool to do like this brown gray with some maybe white stripes, or just color blocking where like the bottom, like top is gray, maybe like ends of the sleeves, or like bottom of the body is white. So we'll see. I have a few things in mind, but not much time to work on them, which makes it challenging. But I think that's all the videos that I have to put in here. I do have one other video that this isn't going to be in this video, it's not like a clip. I've been working on a naturescape kind of video for a while. It's just like really calm nature moments, a lot of bird song and wind through the trees. It's really, at least I think it's really cool. So I might share that soon. I have a few clips to add to it, so we'll see when that can be a little addition to my channel. Yeah, things are busy, working a lot, and I would love to have more time to knit. I think I might have mentioned maybe in one video earlier, but I did start a knitting club, kind of a club, in my area, and it started as just catching people at the coffee shop that I work at knitting and asking them if they want to get together to knit. And it's been like rapidly growing. So I started in February, and it's like every other Tuesday, and now there are 45 people in the club, which is amazing. And we had a meeting a few weeks ago that there were 20 people that showed up. Usually prior to that, every meeting was about 10 people, but 10 different people. And we met at a park, and it was 20 people. It was amazing. We had this big circle. Everybody set up like quilts and picnic blankets and chairs, and it's been a really, really beautiful sense of community, and just like really creative and inspiring. And it's been nice to like, I don't want to say force myself, because it's not like I don't enjoy it. It's very nice to have a night set aside every few weeks where I work on my projects, and sit and talk with people and see what they're working on, and we share yarn. Like we all pass around our skeins of yarn to squish. It's been really, really cool to see all of these women. It's all women so far, which is fascinating. I didn't realize that. But just seeing people come together and share a craft, or share a love for fiber arts and work on any craft. There's a mix of knitting and crochet and embroidering, all sorts of things. So I'm really grateful to have that little outlet, and it has been like pushing me to create a space, like a yarn store workshop space, for people to get together to work on their projects. So I'm hoping to make a little progress in that area, and it's very exciting. I feel like I'm finding like a little niche. I'm walking down a path towards something that feels really beautiful. So I'm excited to see where that goes. And I think that's it for now. If I think of anything else, I'll come back. Thanks for watching. Thanks for being here. See you later.